8 years of marriage.
Woo woo!
Our anniversary episode. The 3 things that we kind of our buzzwords for marriage right now.
And we want to share with you guys and what we've been living.
Yeah. And how it's kind of transformed over 8 years. Sacrifice, significance, and support.
Tune in.
Perfect.
Welcome to the Mizell Show.
An inspiration for a new generation.
Hi, I'm Alana Mizell, a loving mother of 2, a devoted wife to Stephen, and an entrepreneur helping women realize their dreams and potential.
And I'm Stephen Mizell, caring father of 2, a devoted husband to Alana, and a driving force to help young men prepare for life after college football.
And if that wasn't enough, we're a biracial couple.
She was raised in the North, but I was raised in the South.
The only thing normal about our lives, who am I kidding? It's never normal around here. Join us for the Mizell Show.
Right now. Yeah, that's that. We're back.
Want to take a guy home midnight? It's none of your business.
So yeah, the Mizell Show's back with a lot of freestyling coming in.
I can't help it. Every time the microphone comes
Every time
out,
on the phone, you just.
I think I need to tally sometime how many songs I quote and how many movies I quote in a day. I feel like it'd be up there.
They think your count's only like 3 whenever you come to the microphone. It's either Bon Qui Qui, Salt and Pepper, or
That's pretty much it.
that was it. Those are the only 2. Well, as soon as the mic comes on, you just want to go for it though.
I gotta mix up my what's it called? My repertoire.
Yeah,
What's
you
it
gotta.
called?
You just called a repertoire.
Oh, okay. My stage performance. I gotta
Anyways,
mix it
the Mizell Show is back in the building, and we
have not left the building. We are back in the building.
What in the world?
Like Elvis has left the building.
Clearly, we are recording a little bit later than usual, so it's 7:19 right now. Alana is, you know, that stage that you get and you're kind of like past tired and you get
Slap
like get
happy.
deliriously funny, and
No. Oh, last night I was wicked funny.
that's why you couldn't go to sleep last
I
night.
can be really funny, everybody.
You can.
Steven doesn't think I'm funny anymore, so I'm just going to
anymore.
start. You used to.
Oh, I used to. Oh, speaking of used to, you know, it's been 8 years now.
8 years.
8 years. This is our anniversary episode, people.
Yes. So we've been married for 8 years.
8 years.
Got engaged 9 years ago on St. Patrick's Day.
9 years ago on St. Patty's Day, yep.
We met 10 years ago.
Yep.
So if you figure that out, we dated for a year, we were engaged for a year, and then we got married, and we've lasted for 8.
Yep. And Alana
Let's see if we make it till
told me-
9.
See what I'm talking about?
Don't skid.
7:19. Oh, 7:20 now. You're really gonna be raging.
Losing it.
Yeah, but
No.
we've been married for 8 years now.
And we just got back from a trip that we've been planning really since before Adele was born. We had literally paid for a trip, got pregnant, and had to cancel it, then had a miscarriage.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, we could have gone on our trip. And then another trip was supposed to be had on our 5th anniversary.
We did go to 5th anniversary.
We went on a later that summer anniversary, but we were supposed to originally go to Europe for our 5th anniversary.
Who signed us up for that?
That was on the long-term goals that we wrote down with our
really?
financial planner.
5 years we were supposed to go to Europe?
Yeah, bro. And that didn't happen because of
But how do you feel about Europe now after
from
you just
this
went to
game
Mexico?
called football?
No.
Oh my gosh, you guys. So we went to Mexico, and I got to go to Europe with a travel agent, like holding my hand.
A group of people. We need some
Like,
expert European travelers.
Oh, for sure. Like, I need the people that take school visitors from high school
To take
and
you to
show
Europe.
them around Europe.
And walk
That's
you,
who I need.
Yeah. And do like a...
But I don't want a group. I just need me and my tour guide in Italy. Well,
Yeah.
you can come.
I can come too, right? I'm just being a tour guide.
I just got so overwhelmed.
Yeah, she got overwhelmed. It was 2 memorable points in this trip. First of all, we were able to go to Playa de Carmen.
I have no idea.
Awesome city in Mexico. And it's kind of like maybe they're New York. I don't know. It's a great tourist spot.
It's like a strip.
It's a strip. Like, it's called their Fifth Avenue. And it was like awesome, and everybody's like trying to sell you stuff, and it was a great experience until, we go down there with a shuttle. They give us a location. They say, hey, be back in 2 hours. So me and Alana, we set our cell phones to an hour and a half. Now, here's the tricky thing.
I'm not trying to get left.
Not trying to get left.
Not trying to get left.
The tricky thing is, we as Americans, we're so assuming to our cell phones just to work. So, we're leaving the spot, and I think I dropped my location. Like, yeah, we're good to go. We vaguely remember how we got from there to Fifth Avenue, but that alarm went off, and it was time to walk back. And, Mama almost thought we were lost.
No, and I have zero sense of direction. Anywhere. Unless it's IKEA. I can get you around in IKEA. Like,
you can get right. Like, you're one of those people that go through IKEA and hit all the back doors and slide through.
I know what every back door is. I know the secret code. I know, like, the handshake. I can tell you where the extra storage things are. I can tell you when their new supply comes in. But I can't get you on the regular streets in Memphis that I've been around for 11 years. Can't do it.
Yeah.
Unless I'm going to Target or TJ Maxx. I can get you a Target, TJ Maxx. That's about it. That's
it. You know where those are.
Yeah. Or I can get you around campus at the University of Memphis.
Okay.
That's maxed out.
So, Mama freaked out.
So, yeah. Like, I was freaking out. I thought we were really lost.
Oh, we really lost. No cell phone service.
Losing
and she
my
thought
mind.
that this was it.
I was like, I'm going to die in Mexico.
She thought... or get lost.
I'm never making it back. I better be tan. This is not the outfit I wanted to die in. Oh my God. That's a joke. Yeah. Obviously
but
not.
Anyways.
I didn't think it was going to be that bad, but I was like, we're going to have to get an Uber back to our hotel. Do you remember the name of our hotel? We're not even
We had no service to get an Uber.
I don't know. Oh my gosh. Good thing I didn't process that right then.
But believe it or not, Alana's the one that got us back. She was the one that said, no, I think this is the wrong street. So we went back.
You want to know how I knew that?
Because you saw
Because I knew where the handbags were.
You knew the handbags were, and you knew where the fancy gold swimsuit was in the mirror.
The landmarks.
The landmarks. The landmarks.
I don't know a single street. All that to say, for us to get there has taken some serious, us to get there to Mexico, us to get to 8 years. And no, we are not marriage vets, but...
here's a question for you. When people say marriage... What are some buzzwords that people usually hear when you hear marriage? What do you think?
What are some buzzwords?
I think of bliss. I think of joy. I think of happily ever after.
Yeah, I think that the word marriage has been so Hollywoodized that they forget.
Hallmarkized. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all the ized, Instagramized, that people forget that it's a lot of work. And it's daily deciding to lay yourself down for another human being.
Yeah.
When you've lived the majority of your life not doing that.
And living for yourself.
Right. And it's different than for your kids because your kids are half of you.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know for those that have, I mean, I feel like if you have a niece or a nephew, you kind of start to get it. Mm-hmm. And then you have kids and you're like, oh, now I get it. But like to lay your life down for somebody that technically you could walk away from. And I know that parents walk away from children all the time, but it's just different.
It's just different. And I think the word that we have grown to realize over our 8 years is sacrifice. If you say marriage, the first thing that should come to your mind should be sacrifice. But one thing that I have noticed through my marriage to you, and you see peers and you see friends, relationships, everybody doesn't believe in sacrifice.
Yeah, and I think that, so I've been going to this specific therapist since June or July, and there's been a large change in our marriage for the better.
Yeah.
But to actually sacrifice your need to be right and your need for your emotions to be the correct emotion is also so important. For Stephen and I had a serious conversation while we were on this trip, really when we just got back, and it was probably the first time in our marriage that we didn't see eye to eye.
Yeah.
And yet, Stephen's first response was to fix it. And then both of us quickly realized that when you try to fix what the other person is actually feeling, then you're removing the sacrifice from your marriage. You're removing that I see where you are. Let's compromise and meet you halfway. And I think that's a beautiful picture of really marriage was created so that you could lay your life down for another person.
Yeah.
That's the goal, other than in your marriage and that person that you're married to was created to be second only to God.
Yes.
That's it.
And that's where I think a lot of things get clouded. I mean, when you look and you stand before, your pastor, and you stand before your family, you are taking that vow that second to Christ, you're putting this person right there. And on top of that, it's very difficult. Like you mentioned, you've lived your entire life, and so many people want the bliss of a marriage and not the ugliness of what sacrifice is.
And I also feel like you don't get to bliss without sacrifice.
True.
Like, you don't actually understand what bliss is until you've sacrificed for somebody and realize that it feels better than you trying to be right all the time.
Yeah. And I think it's a lot of that.
And it's not just in an argument.
No. Oh, no.
It's like, it's down to like the fundamental next step. So here's an example. So for Steven's career in football, one thing that we felt like was really important and has been really important to both of us is that a continual presence for both of our kids from a parent, one or the other. Mm-hmm. And what that means for us is that I really can't work a normal job. Mm-hmm. Normal being 9 to 5, corporate. Although I've got my master's and things like that, could I go back to like the more office setting? Yes, but it's a lot less flexible for me to be able to be there and be present for them every chance that they get. Now, in Division I football or Division I athletics, really, you don't have flexibility. You really don't. Just like the athletes don't. And so sacrifice number one for us was to say, okay, let's have her step away from the typical job. Now, I will also tell you that when I stepped away from my 9 to 5, which was somewhat flexible, we had to financially sacrifice significantly. I mean, we cut our salary in half.
Yeah.
Y'all, in half, 50% gone. And the reason that we did that was twofold. One, so that we could be there for our kids, but two, so that we could focus on my mental health. Did you know that I sell makeup? Not only do I sell makeup, but the makeup that I sell is 3D makeup, which allows you to highlight and contour your face in a super simple compact. As a mom, I could not survive without my simplified routine. Not only that, but it's exactly what you need. Exactly when you need it, all in one spot. Go ahead and check out Alana Mizell on Instagram or alanamizell.com to learn more.
Yeah, it's one of the things that we decided together, that it was going to be a mental health, but also I think the biggest sacrifice you really made was for us as a couple. Because if we could have probably made it work in terms of you working the job, it would be long days, long nights, seeing our kids for like 30 minutes, but also for our relationship, I think that was a huge sacrifice because if you work a job and you're processing a job, and then you're getting home and processing family, that we might see each other for 10 minutes before we go to bed and do it all over again.
Yeah.
But with you being able to take a step back and work on your mental health and then being at home, and now even with the beauty of Saint coming along, giving you that a great opportunity, it helps us together as also. And I think that's so important too, because so many times in a marriage, you begin to climb a corporate ladder or climb a job or even stay at home, but you forget that sacrifice. The sacrifice was for us. One of our biggest pet peeves is that a lot of times people forget, before the job, before the kids, before the house, it was just me and you.
Yeah.
We were just dating. We were broke.
Well, not
we
only
had nothing.
that, but like you didn't vow and promise to your house. Yeah, you vowed and promised money. You didn't vow and promise your life to your job. No, you vowed and promised to your spouse that you chose to take that oath.
And that's the beauty with you, because you had the master's degree. And again, where you were working, how much you had been there and the changes you've made, they probably would have done everything they could if we wanted to do that. But we still knew we come first, and we had to make that sacrifice.
And when we say that, it is not that we're saying one person doesn't need to be working a regular job. It is that neither of our jobs are regular. And so to understand what it kind of looks like from a Division I athletic standpoint is it's at least 6 days a week. Usually it's 7 days a week. And for Steven's role specifically, at any point, a call can come in and he's got to be gone instantly. Bam, gone. And that just is because his job is to take care of those players off the field. Mm-hmm. That's the easiest way to explain it. So, and that could mean in the middle of dinner time. So the amount of time that him and I get to spend actually focusing on each other is very slim. And so we have to be very careful with that. So that's why sacrifice is so important.
But also
goes right into it, significance. And this is something that we
can park it here for a second. Let's just
well, that and really we've always done a good job at giving each other significance. And early on in our marriage, Steven's done real estate for a while on the side as well, really since before we were married.
Yeah, before we were married, yeah.
And I know exactly where we were. We were at our old house on the sectional. His phone kept ringing. And I was like, hey, it's fine if you answer your phone. If you don't mind just asking me if it's okay for you to pick it up, that makes me feel like you see significance that I am here and that you and I are together. Y'all, that was before we had kids.
Before we had kids.
That was before we had kids.
And it goes back to sacrifice, because I felt at that moment, well, I'm just answering the phone to provide for you.
Right.
But at the same time, A, I never communicated that to her, but B, no matter how much I could provide, how much that sale could have been, it still did not show her the significance of our post-dinner couch time, watching one of our favorite shows, Castle, back in the day. And we embraced that time because, we get home between 4, 4:30, eat a dinner at 6, 5:30, 6. And between 6 to 8, before we, get ready for bed, whatever, we embraced that time. But my phone is blowing up. I am telling her, yeah, I got to get this call. And I'm
well, and at the time, it wasn't even that he was trying to put the sale in front of me. It was that I didn't even know who he was calling. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know if it was his regular 9 to 5. I literally didn't know what was going on. And it was just more so like a acknowledgement of the time that we were in.
Yeah.
And it's not because I needed to know who was calling. I don't care. I don't really care. But there have been times that, for me, my love language is quality time. So for him to get a phone call and our quality time, to go answer it and come back without me knowing who's calling and at least acknowledging that, hey, I'm going to interrupt our quality time, that meant a lot to my love language and made me feel less significant during that time frame. So that's the other thing. When you're talking about significance, you've got to know and figure out what your spouse's love language is. It's rarely going to be your love language.
It's very, very rare that it's going to be your love language. My love language is affection. I will say it hand in hand.
And acts of service.
Acts of service. As I've aged, I think affection is creeping up for me. Giving me things. No.
No, I'm talking about acts of service, like for Steven, if I were to go into his closet and organize his whole closet so that he can see it better or something like that, something that makes Steven's life easier, that I spent time doing it, Steven feels loved in that. If I were to put the dishes away.
Between that and a kiss from Milana really gets me.
I know, but
no, I know what you're saying. Yes, you're right.
Like that act of service.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And usually you can find what your spouse's or partner, whatever you want to call it, love languages when you see what they are trying to do for you. So Stephen says it's not acts of service, and yet he will vacuum our entire house. He will clean out the dishes. He will do the laundry. He will do everything for me. Does it make me feel better? Yes. Is it my love language? No. So there are many times that I have to say to Stephen, hey, what is more significant to me in this moment is for the dishes to wait and for you and I to have time together. So like our podcast where I get uninterrupted Stephen time and we get to talk about whatever we want is me in hog heaven and peacock proud.
Yes.
We had a preacher that used to say that.
We did. No, but I think, significance is so important. And I think it's something that if you are in year 1, year 2, year 3 of your marriage, it might not be there yet. But it's something that we wanted to share with you.
I think it is there. I think that their understanding of each other is not. Okay. Like, I know you think you really know your spouse, like all that. No, you don't.
I've learned so much more this year in Alana than I probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the same with her. She's learned so much more about me. And when you go through the whole courtship, you sometimes become blind and you realize, I've been with this person for this long and I didn't realize that. And hopefully it's not anything like monumental, but there's some things that you kind of just skim over and you go through this day-to-day life and you don't know the significance of certain things until that person opens up and let you know.
Well, and I think within the first few years, you are so used to being your own person that a lot of times what I see, especially with some of our younger friends that have just gotten married or things like that, is they're still struggling with the balance between, I want you to feel important, but how do I make you feel important and significant and still achieve my goals? And that's hard.
Very hard.
That's where the sacrifice and significance really kind of collide. And there comes a point where the goal that one individual has to become the goal of the marriage.
Yes.
Like Stephen's goal to become the director of player relations was our goal. Although I had just finished my master's degree. Did I know what I wanted to do with it? No. But that's our goal. My goals with Saint and my goals as far as motivating women, my goals as far as literally helping change lives of women is our goal. And the sooner in your marriage you can start to understand that you need to lay down your life and lay down your goals so that it can become our goal and a goal of a unit and a significance of each other, your marriage will flourish. Because then the other person is walking around sharing what you're trying to achieve individually, but also what you're trying to achieve as a unit. It becomes a part of the other person. Stephen didn't get director of player relations all by himself.
No.
He's not maintaining his role all by himself.
No.
By any stretch.
No.
I didn't get where I am in my business because of myself. I am not single. I am married to Stephen. I got where I am because I am married to Stephen Mizell. Because we together had this goal. And yes, a lot of times I'm like, hey, I think I want to do this. But then it transforms into our goal because there is significance and power when your spouse believes in you. And when your spouse doesn't believe in you or hinders something that you're wanting to do, I would dig deeper on that. But why?
Yeah.
Where is that coming from? What makes you feel like we can't do this together?
And a lot of times it's an underlying fear, or underlying belief, underlying thing that they have never been able or been comfortable with you or knowing about that. So you definitely, it's very important to have that person walk alongside you because the worst thing, or one of the worst feelings, they always say, is a motivational speaker kind of says, one of the worst things you can do is to make it and then have to go back to where you were because it didn't last. And I feel in a marriage, the worst thing you can do is to be successful and that person not be there with you, or that person still not truly buy in, as you're not going to be fulfilled. You can go to your job every day, be the CEO, bring in millions of dollars, but you're going home to an empty house.
Your spouse isn't your assistant. Your spouse is your spouse.
Yeah.
Your spouse is your best friend, your sideline, your right hand, your left hand, whatever handed you are. They are not your assistant. They are not your peasant. They are not your housekeeper. They are not your laundry cleaner. They are not. They are, it's like Eve came out of the side of Adam. She didn't all of a sudden come out of the dirt. No, the side of Adam. So when you start to think about you and your spouse and you in your marriage, remember that the woman came out of his side.
Yeah.
And that's how you need to see your marriage.
Yeah. And you have to embrace and show the understanding, the passion, the caring of the significant role that your spouse is playing in that. And that's something that I think that I try to do every single day, is to help remind you that I would not be where I am today without you. I would not be where I am trying to be without you. And yes, on paper, she works for a company online and she's home most of the day and she picks the kids up. Yeah, on paper you might see like, well, what is she really doing? But you don't understand the sacrifices that she made and the significance of her being able to be there for me, to be there for our children, to be here for our household. And on top of that, now with Saint, she's now able to release that passion and excitement she has in building women, which helps her. Because another thing that we don't talk about is like, you got to have your significant other, your spouse, to have that outlet. Because you have to. Because without the Sarah Aldermans and the Sarah Martins and the Stephanies and the Cassidys and the Amanda Hills and the Rachels and all these people, I try to keep up with Alana, but like she would be dying without the release of those relationships.
That, and actually today I was having coffee with a friend, and she said, so they're newly married about 8 months, and her husband is just struggling with the fact that she goes to therapy and like, but I don't want you to feel like you can't come to me about things.
Swerve, bruh, like, hey.
I didn't even talk to you about that. It's so much healthier to have a third-party outlet.
Yes.
Especially for any woman that struggles with anxiety and depression. Really, every person needs a third-party outlet.
And then also, like, this quickly,
really.
As a newlywed, and that person feeling, oh, just come to me. And if he's any kind of decent guy, which I know he is, or they are, he's going to try to carry it. And so now you are carrying what she told you.
What I said.
And then all of a sudden you going to work, trying to work, but you thinking, oh, what is she thinking about? She told me this last night.
She's so overwhelmed about
you can't fix her. No, you can't.
And that's not being her spouse. That's being her Jesus.
And being her, you're right.
And you can't carry that. And if you start doing it in year 1, you're going to do it in year 8, and then it's going to be detrimental.
Coming from somebody in church, you raise your hand and say, yes, that is me. That is who I am. That's somebody that I am working to.
Okay, walk them through what you're saying, though.
From the very first courtship of Alana, I tried to start carrying and helping. Now, granted, I was also showing her what I felt that she needed in terms of a support system and what she deserved. But also I was trying to carry and try to do. And I was partly afraid of losing her if I wasn't like being that person. But then also I started realizing I am carrying her and not allowing her to be her complete self because I am trying to fix her or trying to pinpoint something before it happens.
Yeah.
That is not healthy.
Which got worse as my anxiety and my depression got worse because Stephen was trying to make it not happen. And anytime you are trying to make a
panic attack not happen because you think you know what's going to happen, it's not.
You don't.
You don't.
You don't know. And that doesn't give the other person room to heal. And there were a few times that I said, you've got to stop doing that because I'm growing and you're not letting me. Like, you've got to let me try. And that's the thing, is that is so significant, and that is the support. Yes. The support of letting your spouse fail, but still being there to sacrifice and be significant with them is the support that your spouse needs above any friendship you could ever imagine. So,
and I'm going to stop you right now. The thing that will get you through 70 years of marriage.
You know.
I know. First, every guy does this. I'm going to say it. The deer in the headlights look. When your wife is like going off or saying something, you just freeze. And when you are listening to her, do not say or think, how can you fix it? You say the simple words is, I am listening to you. I understand. I want to walk alongside you. Never say, hey, I can do this. No, I've learned from many times.
I don't need you to do it.
Nope. No.
Yeah. And then say, hey, are you going to talk to Rachel about that this week? Rachel's my therapist.
No, but you want...
But no, really, you do say that.
The wife or the woman is craving for support. Yeah. She's not telling you to go talk to the lady at her office or to go do this or that.
Unless she has specifically asked. There was one time that my depression was so bad that I was like, I really need for you to go talk to them. Like, I physically couldn't do it. But...
Many times we try to just...
But that's not what happens most of the time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. She's freaking out about this. And I'm just going to stop listening and I'm going to go fix it.
But then you don't realize all she wants to do is just talk to you about it.
And then once it's like, I can drop things 12 times faster than Steven can.
And we're learning that
because once it's off my chest, it's off. Like, it's done. That's us. And Steven's 3 weeks later like, remember how you flipped out about that? I've been thinking about that for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
But now I can start to see it in his eyes. So, but you guys, that's the support. That is the support. And these three things, sacrifice, significance, and support, are all connected. And our marriage pastor he's just so great. And another phenomenal tip that he gave us, it was the same guy that married us. He's just the best. He said to me, never talk behind your husband's back. Never. And the reason is God created man to be respected. And this is every single man. And you can see it in history. Anytime that a man feels disrespected, they will lash out in some form or another. Mm-hmm. It can be a very simple way. Steven's not very lash-outy. I don't believe I've ever talked behind your back because Samuel told me not to. So I didn't do it. But how disrespectful of your spouse to turn around and talk about them to other people. You'll never believe what Steven did today. Now, if they did something funny, okay, whatever. Right? But like when you're talking about things that are significant to them and show a lack of support to them, there's no reason you need to go tell your girlfriend. There's one person you can tell, your therapist, because of HIPAA. That's it. That is it.
You can talk to your therapist. You can pray about it.
Don't call your mama.
Do not call the parents, cousins.
Do not.
Don't
do it. Because all that's going to do is it's going to bring up that situation at Christmas, and then your husband's going to turn around and be like, I don't trust you anymore.
Yeah.
That's how respect and trust gets broken in a marriage, and you no longer sacrifice, show significance, and show support. How insignificant are you giving your spouse if you've turned behind their back and talked about them?
Yeah.
That's real.
That's real. And that's something that, we going into, we have been married for 8 years, into year 9. Sacrifice is something that when I first married Alana, it was not one of the buzzwords that I thought about, but it's now each and every day I am blessed to have someone that's willing to sacrifice this life we have together. Significance is something that we... with the careers that we have now, that we say we have to embrace the times and show significance and be able to plan trips and to plan little things. And guys, it doesn't have to be huge. Nope. I mean, just the time period of you watching one show or that y'all show together and you put the cell phones down and you just do that and then just continue to support your spouse.
I would also say that there's really... You can't go too far on any of these 3 words. You can't over-sacrifice. You can't find them over-significant. And you certainly can't over-support. You can always find a new job. You can always find a new career path. But you can't always repair your marriage. That is huge. So we hope that you guys are loving the Mizell Show. We are having so much fun doing it. And we're grateful for all of you guys. If you are loving this, just hop over to our Instagram, click follow, let us know that you like it, or leave a review for us right here. Thanks, guys. Are you loving The Mizell Show? Well, we love you all. And did you know that you can have me and Steven talk to your team or a group of 25 of your friends? All it takes is 25 people showing up on either a Zoom call, a Facebook Live, or really anywhere. Hopefully in person sooner rather than later. But how do you get us? So all you have to do is email themizellshow@gmail.com, or you can direct message us on Instagram @themizellshow.